Hey, what's up? As requested, I'm gonna be reviewing a What I Eat in a Day video by Malygon.
Hey guys, this is Malygon, and you know that saying, you're what you eat? Well, I figured that my food should always be healthy and sexy. Well, almost
She seems a bit fake, too much acting.
always, because I just can't say no to a tasty burger sometimes. So today I'm gonna show you my top 5 things that I love to eat. Let's go! I live my dream. This world is my dream. So now
The intro wasn't bad. Usually YouTube intros are not very good. She poses as a model. Posing is a form of acting, and that's probably why she believes that she should be acting in this video. There's no need for that.
I'm gonna show you my very first thing that I like, and it's in my freezer. Salo! So it's basically bacon, but
Salo is salted pork fat. They use the salt as a preservative on the outside. It's supposed to protect the fat, the meat. They understand that no living organism is going to get close to salt because it's toxic. That's why they always use salt as a preservative. It kills the organisms, or at the very least slows them down, so to speak. It poisons them.
it's a little bit like it's another part of bacon without any meat. So you see, just fat. And we usually eat it raw. There's also some skin here.
You can do that as long as the pigs are healthy, which is usually not going to be the case today.
Or like near skin part that we also eat. So salty and
It's funny that she says that, because if you would give her a teaspoon of salt, she would spit it out in disgust. But the brain associates what you really like with the additives. It's the same with other toxic substances that people nowadays consume, such as garlic. If you would ask somebody if they like garlic, then they would say, yes, of course, I always eat it, but they don't actually eat it on its own. What they do is they eat spare ribs, for example, with a garlic sauce. Their body actually likes the spare ribs, but they will say that they like the garlic because the body associates the spare ribs with the garlic. That's just how a human body works. That's why if you grow up eating something such as this, you will always believe that you like the toxic part also, because you're microdosing that. Once you eat it on its own, you know that you hate it. In reality, of course, she likes the pork fat, which is understandable.
it's so good, like trust me. Grandparents in Ukraine, they usually have like a farm. A few pigs, a few cows. When you spend the whole summer just like petting those pigs, petting those
As you can see, she cuts off thin slices, which have basically no salt on them.
cows, and one day you just go to have a dinner with your family, your grandmother says, oh, it's your pig Maruska, and she shows me this. They killed a pig that I loved, that I was friends with, and that I spent.
People never used to be friends with animals. Maybe you could say dogs, but we use them for hunting and as guards. We never befriended pigs and cows.
The whole summers, like a few years with, just for sala. But it tastes awesome.
Exactly, I was gonna say, you still eat it.
Sushi, of course. I think I
Raw meat, alright.
mentioned sushi in my every video, but that's fine because this is actually my favorite food. Like every single
Her favorite food is raw meat, and she likes pork fat. Yeah, it's typical for Russians and Ukrainians.
day I eat sushi. It's true.
Not the sushi, obviously, although they do have raw meat dishes, but generally eating a lot of animals, pork, a lot of fat. That's why Russians are usually better developed than the rest of the Europeans. That didn't used to be the case back in the day, but since the last 60, 50 years, that's the reason. Of course, now everything is also changing in those countries.
So I'll tell you more. Since I was a kid, I loved raw fish. And it's weird because especially kids,
Yeah, raw fish, it's raw meat. It's raw meat from sea animals.
they only eat, like French fries, nuggets. For me, I was not a picky eater at all. Like,
Yeah, because you were not fed garbage. There's no such thing as a picky eater. You get good food and you eat it. Of course, you're delighted if you get raw meat, especially when you're young.
all my favorite food was like raw fish, raw meat.
I love it. I'm just laughing because it's what I always tell you. It's not as if she's the prettiest girl on earth. She looks alright. That's why, as I said, Ukrainians, Russians, they just eat better. They know what's up. At least they used to. As I said, now in 2025, not so much anymore.
In Ukraine we have this like meat jelly, it's called холодец. And even this thing I ate, even though a lot of adults don't like this.
Yes, and that's what's going to develop your body into a healthy human being. And that's kind of what you're seeing here.
But I liked pizza with pineapples, sweet and sour combo, spicy sweet and salty sour combo, anything I can eat. When I lived in Ukraine, sushi looked a little bit different from American, but in Ukraine we have like a separate like small plate where you just pour soy sauce and then you take your chopsticks and you eat it like this, then you dip it in the sauce and you eat. But here in America you have to pour it on your sushi and it's super weird because it's always not enough of the soy sauce. But it's fine. Delicious.
I didn't see, is it actually sushi or sashimi? I didn't see the rice. It doesn't really matter. Just curious.
As you already know, I'm not a picky eater, and onions was another thing that I liked as a kid and I still love, which surprises people usually because children are like, onions, no, I don't like onions, blah, blah. But me, I like raw onions, I like grilled onions, I like boiled onions, I like fried onions, I like pickled onions. Yeah, pickled onions are my favorite, but raw onions is also the best, and I'll show you how you should eat it. I took a knife, like this, but I just peeled it, no kisses, not today. It's amazing, like, I don't know, it's spicy of course, but I don't know, it's really...
Oh my god, man. It's spicy, yeah. It's toxic. Yeah, she couldn't do it even for the camera. It's just not possible.
It's honestly delicious.
That's interesting that she says that it could be that she wants something like that because the pork fat wasn't that good after all. Pork fat would have to come from very healthy pigs for you to eat it like that.
It's so tasty, I'm crying. I like it when
And it makes no sense at all. It's super contradictory what she's saying.
it's more sweet. Sometimes when you bite it like this and it turns out like too spicy, then I can cry because like this, like maybe like smaller bites I just eat and it's like a sweet pepper, or like an apple. It's also like sweet when you really like bite it, it's sweet at first. Yeah, it's spicy, but it's mostly like sweet. It's not even salty. So
It's probably also something that she's used to because she talks about small pieces and as you could see, she cannot actually eat it. Pretty interesting. I think that it could be that the fat wasn't that good and that's when you automatically want lemons, apple cider vinegar, sometimes even something such as an onion because you want to kill off the toxins.
I don't understand why people don't like it. One more bite.
I don't know what this was supposed to tell us really. We know that you don't like it, nobody does, but whatever.
Ta-da! After a good onion, I usually like to have a sip of matcha. Every girl drinks matcha. I am just another girl drinking matcha.
Matcha is poisonous. It's made out of toxic green leaves. Nobody likes it, that's why people add soy milk, sugar, and all that garbage to it, cream, whatever.
Matcha is my favorite. I know that I have anxiety from coffee from a long time ago. I had a panic attack only once in my life and it was after coffee. So it's like, obviously that.
Yes, coffee is made out of toxic seeds, and your body actually does become anxious, stressed, and that's why you will start shaking, you will be very focused because your body is poisoned.
Coffee is not good for me. Okay, matcha is not coffee, so I was drinking it and I couldn't understand why I feel so anxious all the time, even though I don't.
Yes, you really need to think about it. Just purely logically, you consume the juice, liquid, or in the case of coffee, you have powdered up seeds mixed in with water, whatever the case, and then you drink that. It enters your body, it's toxic, that's why it tastes so horrible, that's why you put sugar and milk into it, and that's why you may start shaking and all of that. Of course, and you may get a panic attack. It's not surprising.
Drink coffee, I don't do anything. I'm just like this all the time. I'm crying before bed. I'm like, I'm dying, someone's gonna die tonight. I don't know, it's crazy.
Yeah, because technically you are dying slowly. You are poisoned and it feels like you're slowly dying.
Still love it, so that's why it's on my list, even though it has a really bad
Actually, wait, what?
consequences.
That's interesting. Makes no sense. You would never drink it in its so-called raw form. That doesn't exist, of course, because then you would have to be eating green leaves. But without the sugar, no way. Nobody would, because of how bad it tastes. Interesting. She needs to simply eat more. It seems like she eats pretty good food. There's no need for this.
Oh, it's my Uber Eats. Ta-da! And this is my favorite delivery from my favorite restaurant. It's called Mom Please. And it's a Ukrainian restaurant. I'm so lucky. I live in LA and they have a Ukrainian restaurant right, like almost in my building. Ta-da! Вареники! If you follow my page for a long time now, you know that I have the separate video of how I make this vareniki, which is basically dumplings with cherries, and it tastes like super delicious. If you think that salad and onions may be like so-so, you still have like this sauce. For this, you might have no thoughts at all because it's the best food ever. It's the food of God, and it's just mwah. And it's a dessert, by the way. That's why it's the last one. And also, as you can see, we have like sour cream here. I think that it's a little bit like sweeter, but it's still not sweet. But we eat it with everything. Like we eat it with soup, we eat it with vareniki, we eat it with any kind of dumplings, like anything. Cheers. The cherry juice just flushes on all over my mouth, and it's sour and super sweet, and it's just amazing. Why I don't eat vareniki every day? Because if you eat vareniki every day, though with sugar, you have to hit the gym every day. Or at least have sex every day. Because during sex, you actually burn from 60 to 100 calories per one time. But that depends on how long you are in a relationship. So that's a wrap, and it was me and Malygon, and I ate all this food in 1 hour, so wish me luck. Bye!
This is her Instagram. There's nothing special here. Her eating some garbage. She was obviously pulled into this modern society. She grew up in Ukraine, eating good food, and now she lives like this. She wouldn't even be a model if she would have grown up in LA or wherever she lives now. A lot of models grow up on farms or in countries where they still eat good food. I'm actually planning on making a video about that in the future. She's following modern trends, doing what appeals to people. It is how it is. Still, if some people saw her what I eat in the video, maybe it motivated them to eat more sushi at least. Even if it's with rice. Who cares? Her diet is pretty good overall, and more importantly, she grew up eating good food in Ukraine while she was developing. That's why a lot of models come from Russia. These people come from bloodlines of people who ate raw meat, and even if the meat was cooked, it was fatty. They ate fatty pork, they ate the organs, they drank the blood. Drinking blood was normal in Russia and Ukraine up until recently. Now, in 2025, not so much. Everything is changing all around the earth. You won't be seeing a lot of models in Russia anymore. If people continue eating unnatural food, you won't be seeing them anywhere on earth because being a model requires good development during your childhood, puberty. If you don't eat good food, you're not going to be a model. That's why all models grew up eating good food. There's not even one exception to it. She also ate the pork with the salt, even though if you would give her salt, as I said, she would spit it out. But people are manipulated and pretty much brainwashed nowadays. They don't understand what I actually like. She also ate the onion, but then at the same time, she spit it out because she doesn't actually like it, obviously. And she also spit out the matcha. She doesn't like it because it's made out of green leaves. As I said, you add the sugar, the fat to matcha, coffee, and all of these toxic drinks because you hate the taste. But you get brainwashed to drink it, and then your body is essentially dependent on it. You don't want to feel the stress, but at the same time, you work all the time. You can hardly stay awake because you're so drained, and that's why you drink it to stress yourself, and then you're awake. That's what most people would say. In reality, you're just very poisoned, and then you're awake for a few hours because of the poison in your bloodstream. It damages your organs. Your whole body is being poisoned. That's all that's going on. I only point that out because clearly she doesn't actually listen to her intuition. If she would, then she would simply cut off the pieces with the salt, which it seems like she did anyway, and she wouldn't eat onions at all. Maybe she ate the onions because the fat is somewhat toxic, seeing as most pork fat is toxic today. Maybe she ate farmed salmon. That's also possible. And then your body asks for this acidity, but other than that, it doesn't do it. And as you could see, she spit it out because she doesn't actually like it. You don't like to swallow the lemon juice or the apple cider vinegar, but you do it because you feel nauseous. The poisons are in your stomach. Still, overall, she eats better than most people, and that's why she became a model. That's how it goes in life. Thanks for watching.